Wow, 3,000 students approved for school choice, and a judge goes and blocks it.
It's the Mega Man, and nah, that doesn't stand for hate. Nah, we're just saying it's time for education to be great.
Hello, everyone. This is Make Education Great Again. I'm your host, Chris Morris. Today's topic, a judge blocks school choice in Virginia after nearly 3,000 students already approved for the program. Now, why would you do that? Could it be teachers' unions? Could it be some money in the back? There's people who have a monopoly on education, and that is not loving to do. It's not right to do. We thrive as a nation when parents have the freedom and options available to them to do what's right by their kids. So I'm not going to be quiet. We're going to get the word out, share this video to everyone you know who cares about our children, who cares about the future of this country, because school choice is absolutely pivotal. Let's go ahead and get into this article. I got a video clip to share with you guys, and I got some more news coming out of the state of Connecticut, people calling for school choice, and I'm going to articulate why this is absolutely the thing to do at this time in our nation's history. This is the one industry, education, that has not been disrupted in hundreds of years. We're still doing things that we did back in 1855 when it comes to this industry, and everything else has been disrupted and improved for the better, except for this industry. This cannot stand, so let's go ahead and get into this. So here is our article. It broke out about 2 days ago. I want to say, no, yesterday. I'm mistaken. This is a Fox News article. Here it is. Judge block West Virginia school, excuse me, not Virginia. I think I said Virginia. West Virginia school choice program after 3,000 students have already been approved. What in the world? The Kanawha Circuit Judge Joanna Tabi, these are some names here, who was appointed by a Democrat, ruled the scholarship program unconstitutional. So when they say they're saying it's unconstitutional, let me just be clear. They're claiming this is against the state constitution, not the Constitution of the United States. So I do need to be clear there. A West Virginia judge shut down a scholarship program offering public money for private education, calling it unconstitutional. Wow, unconstitutional to give freedom for our kids and help our kids, whatever. After a hearing that lasted a little over an hour long, and Kanawha Circuit Judge Joanna Tabi on Wednesday ruled that the Hope Scholarship Program that provides state funds for students leaving the public school system violated the state constitution. Now this is interesting. The scholarship program was established after the state legislature passed a law in 2021. The plaintiff, who consisted of parents of students in the public school system, argued that the program violated the state constitution by diverting funding away from the public education system, according to Metro News. Tabbitt found that the Hope Scholarship violates the state constitution Article 12, Section 1, duty to provide for a thorough and efficient system of free schools. National Education Association Teachers Union proposes resolution to change the mother to birthing parent. Oh, sorry, I gave you a little bit too much there. Here we go. After hearing arguments, Tabbitt issued a preliminary permanent injunctive relief enjoining the state from implementing the statute. Tabbitt's ruling put the Hope Scholarship Program on hold. The issue is likely to head to the state Supreme Court. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey said his office would appeal the ruling. I'm disappointed with this ruling. We will appeal because this is an important law, thank God for you, that provides parents greater freedom to choose how they educate their children. This is a no-brainer. Morrissey said, our kids deserve the best educational options. We will fight for our kids and the hardworking families of our state to retain this law and uphold its constitutionality. Benefactors of the scholarship program receive up to $4,300 per year to leave the public school system if they want to. The funds could be used for a variety of reasons, such as private school tuition, fees, online education, education therapies, tutoring. Established in 2021, more than 3,000 students were already awarded the scholarship for the 2022-2023 school year. I want those kids to be able to be afforded this. This is what's going to give them life and give them the best opportunity to head towards their destiny, and we have a judge trying to block it. So let's go a little bit lower. There's more here. School choice became a salient issue after the COVID-19 induced lockdowns. It sparked a conversation on the scope of the government's authority and the type of content that should be taught to children from public school curricula. Private schools across the country reported an uptick in enrollment over the past 2 years, while public school enrollment declined on a national scale. Between fall of 2019 and fall of 2020, total public school enrollment dropped 3% nationwide, erasing a decade of steady growth, according to the U.S. Department of Education. Meanwhile, total enrollment in independent private schools saw a growth of about 1.7% between 2020 and 2022, NPR reported. Private school choice, or providing all families with alternatives to public schools they're zoned for, can be expanded through multiple avenues at the state level, including school voucher programs, tax credit scholarships, individual tuition tax credit programs and deductions, and of course educational savings accounts, one of my personal favorites. Charter schools, magnet schools, and homeschooling are all forms of school choice programs. The activist judge let the mask slip by admitting the ruling was about protecting the government school establishment. Uh-oh. Senior fellow at the American Federation for Children, Corey DeAngelis, told Fox News Digital. The judge noted that public schools lose some money whenever a child switches to a private school, but this is true whenever a parent chooses to educate their child at home or in a private school for whatever reason, because public schools are funded based on enrollment with or without a school choice initiative in place. Now, I want to talk about this right here. This is something that you can easily overlook. I'm going to read it one more time, and then I got some thoughts on it, okay? Please listen to what I'm saying here. This is the judge right here. The judge noted that public schools lose some money. Oh no, heaven forbid the public school that's doing wrong by your kid lose some of their money so they get their act together, but whatever. The judge noted that public schools lose some money whenever a child switches to a private school, but this is true whenever a parent chooses to educate a family at home, a homeschooler, or send them to a private school for whatever reason. Public schools are funded based on enrollment with or without a school choice initiative in place. And that right there, folks, is where the rubber meets the road. Did you see that sentence? These people are going to fight. The teachers' unions are going to fight the government people based on what their platform was when they elected. They're going to fight this. It's all about the money. Is it about the adults or is it about the students? Listen to me clearly. Those of y'all who call yourself fighting for kids, but you want to continue to fund the system and not fund the families and not fund the students. You want to fund the system that's failing the students. I say forget the system. Blow up the system if you have to. Fund the student. If the student gets funded, then the system will have to get their act together, put together a better product, and actually start educating our children if we want to actually send our kids to that institution. That's how it ought to work. That's how businesses work. That's how the free market works. If you stink at what you do, then you better get better at what you do or else you're going to go away. That's just what it is. That's how you get quality. That's how you change the educational landscape. So it is not a problem if you're doing right by our children, and if you're doing things and doing ways that get results, you don't have to worry about people wanting to take their kid out of your school. Why don't you worry about doing better by the kid, and then the people won't even want to take their kid out of your school because you'll be the best place and the best option for them. But since you know you're not going to change your ways, since you know that you can't continue to, you don't want to change, you just want to continue to do the status quo and get your money because it's a gravy train for you, then you want to fight awesome, obvious stuff like school choice for our kids. Now, I just had to get that off my chest because this is just a no-brainer. If you're for kids, why would you not want to fund the ones who love the kid the most? Fund the ones who love the kid the most. That's the parents. I'm sorry. I know the state, the politicians want to act like we love the children when the people who give the blood, sweat, and tears every day. We don't sleep at night. We do whatever it takes. It's not about us. It's the parents. And the parents are going to send their money to the people who are going to love the kids the most, teach the kids the most, and actually do right by the children. And that's just what it is. I believe that's God's way, in my opinion. Okay, so I just got that off my chest. So let's go to another article. I'm going to be nicer now. Let's go to another article that's in the news, circulated. I think it just came out this morning. And this is a call. It's an opinion article for school choice in Connecticut. Let me go ahead and bring that up on screen, and let's talk a little bit there, and then I'll sum it on up. So it says right here, opinion, it's time for school choice in Connecticut. This is written by John Kennedy. It came out today. It says there are plenty of issues occupying our hearts and minds these days. Of course there are. A school choice movement in Connecticut providing parents in underperforming public school systems with vouchers and educational savings accounts for better educational choices should be among them. So it's a call for action, and I'm gonna support this call, which this could significantly impact the education of future generations. Check this out. A recent Supreme Court decision in Carson versus Macon supports the school choice movement by removing an obstacle to public funding that makes access to parochial schools a choice for more families in more states. This is the issue in a nutshell. Many public school systems, often in inner cities, are underperforming, if not outright failing. Parents of children in these schools have few other public options. If you love people, you're not going to limit their options. You're going to give them more options. That's just my opinion, but that's just the truth too. Yes, there are magnet and charter schools that are public. They receive state funds and charge no tuition, but admission is determined by lottery, luck of the draw. I mean, you might get lucky enough to go to one of these charter schools, but the options are limited, and it still doesn't give you much power as the parent. This can and should change, as is happening on a topic of school choice in other states. There's a better way. School choice brings accountability to all parties involved, saves taxpayer dollars, and affords parents critical educational choices for their children. In Bridgeport, for example, it costs about almost $17,000 to educate each student. That's what the That's what the state's paying for the public schools, $17,000 a kid. At parochial schools, the cost to educate students is significantly less, and the outcomes achieved are far superior. At the Catholic Academy of Bridgeport, which educates approximately 900 pre-K through 8th grade students on 4 campuses, the cost of a child's education is only $7,000 as opposed to $17,000. More than 85% of Catholic Academy students cannot afford the annual tuition of $5,150 and thus qualify for a need-based financial assistance. Many families are attending for as little as $100 a month. That comes out to about $1,200 a year. The Catholic Academy of Bridgeport raises over $2.2 million each year, provided by generous private donors like foundations that cover scholarship funding for families that are in need. The Academy welcomes students of all faiths, but 40% of all students are non-Catholic. Importantly, teachers' pay is based on a merit system where basically your compensation can go up based on if you get the success out of your students, which is unlike what happens in the public school sector. In the public school sector, I'm going to just tell you, it's an assembly line system. You get paid based on the degree that you hold and how long you've been doing the job. If you've been doing a horrible job for 20 years, but you have a doctorate, you will always make more money than the person who's getting all the outcomes, who's really energetic, who really is getting results from the kids, and they're learning. Let's say they only have a bachelor's degree and they've only been doing the job for 5 years. There's no way that guy is going to get paid as much as the person who's just been squatting there for 20 years because they have the paper and they have the number of years and they can just sit there and rot. But they're going to make more money, and that's how the system is in public education. It's not organic. It doesn't take into account performance or merit. It's just bad. And when you have people like that who get the most money, they have an incentive to stay sitting there, and then the kids don't go anywhere because they don't have to change and they can just keep making that money. And you see the problem? Do you see the problem? So what I want is to reward merit. I want people who are doing the right thing by our kids to get paid the most, and then they're incentivized to keep doing the right things by our kids. It's just common sense. So anyway, I could go on and on and on. This article, it sounds great, but I pretty much got to end this video pretty soon. So just know, in West Virginia, you need to make your voices known. It's heading to the Supreme Court. It's just paused for right now. We have 3,000 students who are ready and willing and excited to get school choice going into the next upcoming school year, and their lives literally right now are on the line. You need to call some politicians. You need to call your congressman. You need to make some noise, and let's make sure that these scholarships go through and don't get held up by some judge who has ulterior funny bunny agenda, I don't know, motives, I guess you could say. Okay, so before we go, as a reminder, I just wanted you to know, speaking of school choice, and this is where I guess you could call it, what do you call it? You can call it selfishness if you want to. But to be honest with you, I just think it's the place that God has me, okay? So in the past couple of months, you probably noticed I haven't been on doing the videos as much. It's because I've been building my business where I want to offer some solutions to homeschool families and give people options that maybe they're stuck in a system that isn't doing right by their kids. So if you go over here, check out my website. This is what I started. If you know specifically, my background's math, so I offer tutoring, one-on-one tutoring that's done online. I have a special 10-week course. I call it Algebra Made Simple, but this is my business. It's Morris Model Education, tutoring, teaching, transforming. You can just click the book now tab, and you can contact me, and you can set up some tutoring or some help or some educational solutions for your child. You can book a free strategy session where we'll just talk over. I'll hear your needs, and that way I better understand you and also walk you through how the program works. So we have like 3 main ways that we offer services. You do one-on-one tutoring where you pay by the hour. You can actually purchase the 10-week course if you're in algebra specific, or if you're in elementary grades, we have a Math Made Simple course, and it's basically just a way to build a good foundation, gain confidence, get inquiry up, and make sure your kids understand the why behind the what. If they don't understand why we're learning this, they're not going to care what the formulas are or what the processes are that you're trying to teach. It's just what it is. Also, I have to go ahead and mention this before I end it. We have new merch. We have new mega merch to kind of champion the cause of school choice, to champion the idea of freedom. Freedom always requires a choice, by the way. I'm a big fan of freedom, and if you don't have a choice, guess what? You ain't free. You're given an illusion of freedom, if you know what I mean. So what I want to do is I just want to show you like one of the products that we have here before I leave. Okay, so here we go. I'm pulling it up right here. If you go to megaman3creatorspring.com, that's megaman3creatorspring.com, you'll see one of our latest t-shirts. It's simply put, Fun Students, Not Systems. Fun Students, Not Systems. For the low price of $17.99, you can get this for yourself or a loved one. Makes a great gift. We have it in several colors. You can get it in pink. You can get it in light gray. You can get it in blue. Figure it out. You can get all the sizes that you need. But we actually have it in men's shirts and women's shirts. And so that's just one of the options you can find. If you back up out of here, let me see if I can back up out of here. We also have another product that we just released, and it's kind of a play off my math background. If I can find it, here it is. We just call it, students over systems, right? So, I would do math, so I think of fractions. So that was kind of my idea. But anyway, students over systems. Right now, the money goes to the system, and we have to hope that the system does right by the student. I say put the money to the student, and then we can demand and we can expect the system to do right by the student, if that makes sense. So anyway, so that's what we have available. Go ahead and purchase that or send it to a gift as a friend. But let's just back on out of here. It's time for school choice. We need to be the tip of the spear on this baby. Arizona just made it statewide. West Virginia's got a fight on their hands. Connecticut is calling for it. Tennessee is experimenting with it. We got 30 states right now that are starting to get into this national debate, and we have got to speak to it. We have to speak to the mountain and watch the dominoes fall. Thank God for Arizona, and thank God for what we already are seeing, but it's not enough. That's really all I got to say in this video. As always, like, subscribe, share, click that notification bell for more content and analysis. If you like what you heard, I have a link to my PayPal, my Cash App. If you would like to support the cause, that's great. Make sure you subscribe to us on Odyssey and on Rumble, because you never know what the tube is going to do to you. I love you guys. Have a blessed one. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
It's the Mega Man, and nah, that doesn't stand for hate. We're just saying it's time for education to be great. And if we keep on doing everything that we've been doing, it will no longer be our freedom that we're pursuing.